So, willkommen zu einem etwas anderen Part von Fortunes Hammernos mit den Hammerbrüdern Steve und Thomas.
Hallo.
So, wie man es schon sehen kann, wird Thomas gleich dieses Magical Girl Merrin vorlesen.
Ja.
Aber vorher muss ich noch ein paar Sachen erwähnen, die wir im letzten Part noch nicht, die ich noch nicht hatte. Erstens wollte unser Vater dieses weißes Erz haben. Das gab's in dem Labyrinth of the Night. Da lag irgendwo so ein Skelett rum, das musste man ansprechen und da hat man das gefunden. Das hat man dann dem Vater gegeben. Danach wollte er das Ork-Schwert haben, was die Orks ja gedroppt haben. Und danach hat er uns das weiße Schwert hergestellt. Das gab halt 80 Angriff. War halt stärker als das, was wir bisher hatten.
Oh, okay,
so,
verstehe.
Das nächste ist das Erinnerungsfoto 6, was wir ja nicht gefunden hatten.
Ja.
Das gibt's in den Katakomben. In dem Raum, wenn man da reinkommt, ist links und rechts so ein Wasserloch. Dann einfach in das rechte nach unten und da ist dann die Kiste.
Ja, okay, verstehe.
Das letzte ist bei Archie im Haus. Gibt's ein Buch, was für Archie zu komplex ist, dass ich es verstehen könnte. Dieselben Bücher gibt's auch noch für Sana und Stella. Und es ist so, wenn man das Spiel durch hat und dann neu startet und die Bücher liest, dann lernen die schon Attacken, die sie eigentlich erst auf höheren Stufen lernen würden.
Oh, okay, das ist auch günstig.
So. Ich glaube, das war einfach, ich jetzt was sagen wollte zum Spiel letzten Endes.
Ja.
So, Thomas, dann darfst du jetzt vorlesen. Ich kann mich zurückhalten, ich nehme die Maus und werde dann für dich den Text nach unten scrollen. Lass uns mal ein bisschen weggehen, damit man dann nicht das Rad hört im Video.
So.
So, Thomas, bist du bereit?
Ja, meine lieben Kinder, der Hammerbruder Thomas wird euch nun eine wunderschöne Gute-Nacht-Geschichte erzählen.
So, und wir machen die passende Musik dazu an. Thomas, leg los.
So, this is Pond Village. I finally made it. The girl with the golden twin-tailed hair looked up and down the street. The village seemed lonely somehow. The only person on the street was an old man who was giving Merrin, our twin-tailed heroine, a curious look. Merrin was a member of the Jean Paris Magic Guild. At 14, she was its youngest member, and many would say its most powerful. Look around, Merrin. Not a single child. Guess the rumors about children going missing here are true after all. The voice came from, of all places, Merrin's pink staff. For you see, that staff, named Ankle, knew the tongues of men, as any good staff should. Look around, Merrin. Not a single child. Guess the rumors about children going missing here are true after all. Mary nodded at her staff's comment. We should ask someone who lives here what they know about what's happening here. But who? It was then that Merrin noticed the old man eyeing her bemusedly. She walked over, introduced herself, and inquired as to what the old man knew of the situation. Began the old man pensively. It would have been about 2 weeks ago that our wee banes began disappearing on us. It's no mystery though. Lass, it's goblin work, no doubt about it. Goblin work? Merrin asked, blinking. Oh, aye, the old man responded, scowling. There's a whole pack of them infesting a nearby cave. We thought them harmless enough before, but now... A whole pack of goblins? Merrin repeated, her face betraying more than a little bit of worry. Aye, they're responsible, you're sure of it. They'll take all our children if we let them, and if we don't help the ones we've already taken. Please, lass, if you're really with the magic guild, help us. Merrin considered for a moment before nodding. I'll do what I can, sir. I've only one more question. Where's the cave? A few hours later, Merrin stood in front of the yawning maw of the cave entrance, which seemed to consume any daylight which passed through its jaws. Dark, dank, nasty, smelly. "It's a goblin cave for sure," Uncle muttered to no one in particular. "Wouldn't want to try picking our way through the darkness unaided." "Well then," Merrin said with a smile, "it's a good thing I do have an aid. Ready?" Uncle sighed. "Time to earn my keep. Whenever you are, Merrin." With that, Merrin held her staff aloft. "Merry Merra! Meru Melu! Merriera!" "God, light shine!" Merrin cried. At her cry, Uncle's tip began to glow like a torch. For you see, with her charm and her willpower, Merrin could cast any magic spell known to man or beast. Merrin, and not entirely by his own choice, Uncle, proceeded carefully into the cavern. The cave was damp, covered in some unidentifiable substance which gleamed in Uncle's light, and the stench, it nearly overpowered Merrin. Though Uncle was fortunate enough to lack a nose, she'd have to wash her cape for a week after this. And then the air was rent by dreadful cries from seemingly nowhere. The goblins descended on Merrin from all directions. Their swords were bent and rusty, their bows and arrows small and ridiculous, but even these could be deadly when coated in terrible poison, and the weapons lashing out at Merrin were. "Merrin, be careful! Even though they're jump shrimps, those weapons could—" Merrin made no reply. Instead, she raised Uncle and, backed against the wall, began incanting her firewall spell. But then, the goblins literally stopped in their tracks, seemingly seized by a nameless, voiceless fear. Like the spiders before the sun, they scurried away in every direction. "What was?" Merrin said, blinking her eyes. Uncle made a comment. I knew they were weak, but I didn't expect them to run that easily." Merrin's face was set with determination. "It would be a good idea for us to follow them, I think." Merrin took after the fleeing goblins, chasing them into the depth of the cave. Eventually, the cave widened and stopped in a dead end. Shining Uncle's light into the far corner, she saw the goblins huddled against the wall, quivering in fear. Stepping forward with her face set, Merrin said, "You're the ones who took the children of Pon, aren't you? Tell me where they are." The goblins, however, simply whimpered and trembled even more frightfully and shirked away from Merrin as she approached. Uncle commented, "They don't seem to understand the tongue of man, Merrin. Odd. I'd expect them to speak a little of it." Merrin nodded. "Nothing for it, then." Raising Uncle aloft, she incanted Merry Merra, Meru Meru, Meruarara. "Goblins, speak the tongue of man." "Please, no hurts, don't kill," squeaked the goblins, who now spoke the tongue of man. "I don't want to hurt you, but you need to tell me." Merrin was interrupted by one of the goblins who dared to step forward slightly. "Us! We are Pon children. No hurts." Merrin's eyes widened in shock. "What? You're the children from Pon? But how?" "We came to cave to scamper and play, but even the witch, she came and made us ugly and filled our heads with bad thoughts." The goblin wailed as his fellows whimpered and fearfully nodded in agreement. "An evil witch?" "We scamper home, but grown-ups, they see our ugly bodies and try to hurt us. So we run back here, and when the grown-ups come here to kill us, we scare them away with swords and anger, but we want to go home." Tears ran down the goblin's face. "But now our grown-ups hate us and send you to kill us. No hurt, no kill." Merrin's hand instinctively went up to her mouth in horror. Do you know where the witch went?" The goblin whimpered again. "Return soon," she said. she said. Just as the goblins answered, Merrin heard something else behind her. The sound of footfalls on the cavern floor, and they were getting ever closer. Yamanba, crowed Merrin as the new arrival stepped into Ankle's light. She was taller than Merrin and dressed in such a way as to expose as much skin on her legs and belly as possible with her indecent. Whether she succeeded was another matter entirely. Her hair was wavy and even more blonde than Merrin's, though the dark roots betrayed the fact that the new girl's blonde hair was entirely artificial, and her ears suggested she wasn't even human. On seeing Mary, her over-made-up face twisted into a mask of surprise and annoyance. Merrin, like this is so totally a shocker. Her voice dripped with sarcasm. You here too, like, bust up my good time again? I should have known you were behind this, Yamanba, yelled Merrin. Why did you turn these children into goblins? Why? Well, like to totally have a red army of darkness and conquest, duh! Yamanba sneered, rolling her eyes. But these little kids are, like, so useless. They're weak and wimpy and mega ugly too. Merrin could feel a vein bulging in her forehead. You're horrible, Yamanba. If they're no use to you, change them back. Change them back? Nah, that's too much work. Totally bogus, Yamanba said, flippantly. With a sigh, Merrin looked Yamanba in the eye, grimly. I see, it's come down to this then. Raising Ankle above her head, she cried out, Merimera! Merimoru! Meriurara! Dragons of flame, punish those before me. Merimera! Meru! Meriurara! Dragons of flame, punish those before me. At Merrin's command, two flames in the shapes of dragons sprung from the ground and began to lash out at Yamanba. Ow! Ow! Hot! Like it totally burns! Yamanba attempted to bounce above to avoid the flames, even sticking herself to the ceiling somehow, but the flame dragons were relentless. Okay. I'll turn to the brat's back. Child, just call off your goons, she cried out at last. Merrin lowered her staff, and the flames vanished in a puff of smoke. Yamanba, her hair now significantly less blonde, muttered to herself, Stupid, out of control human magic users. This is so mega lame. Merrin glowered at the witch with her hands on her hips, as the aforementioned witch attempted to beat some of the ash out of her hair. Yamanba, you promised! Like so, push, Yamanba sneered, before sighting and raising her hand as the cowering goblins. Radical, manical, badical. Children, return to your original forms. The goblins shone and shimmered with a bright light, and when it subsided, instead of goblins, there stood a gaggle of astonished, delighted children. Yay! I'm not ugly anymore! Now we can go back to the village. You were always kinda ugly, though. Thank you for saving us, miss. As one, the children ran over to hug Merrin in gratitude, which was a little more than a single meter and a half tall girl could manage. Hey now, I'm glad you're all safe, but I can't... Be careful when you hug. So, like, with that done, I'm totally flipping this candy stand later. Taking advantage of the fact that Merrin was buried under a gaggle of enthusiastic children, Yamanba hastily darted away. Yamanba, wait, cried Merrin, but it was no use. Yamanba reached the cave entrance and was gone. Well, Yamanba's still very good at the magic of running away. of running away at least, commented Uncle, to no one in particular. Well, Yamanba's still very good at the magic of running away at least, commented Uncle, to no one in particular. Merrin sighed as the untangled herself from the children. She's probably off to plot something else, but at least the children of Pon are safe, she concluded with a wink. Merrin's welcome on returning to the village was tremendous, and the parents buried her under nearly as many hugs as their children had. Even so, she declined the invitation to stay for the welcome home celebration for the children, preferring to return to the Magic Guild to report her success. As they set out on the road, Uncle gave a wishful kind of sigh. You sure we couldn't have stayed for the party? I could use a good polishing. Mary shook her head. When we get back to the guild, I'm sure we'll have another job to do, and with a reaction like that, I can't wait. As Merrin set forth on the road back to Jean Paris, her step was perhaps just a bit lighter. The end.
So, nach der schönen Geschichte tun wir uns jetzt endgültig verabschieden von diesem Projekt. Du hast gut gelesen.
Danke.
Mal schauen, wer nicht eingeschlafen ist.
Genau. Diejenigen, die nicht eingeschlafen sind, können gerne einen Comment hinterlassen.
Genau.
Ein Kommentar.
Gut. Dann auch jetzt endgültig bis zum nächsten Projekt von mir.
Genau.
Jo. Tschüssi.
Hallo.
Und auf Wiedersehen und gute Nacht.